their last minute instructions from the referee. And they both, of course, are well aware of the rules they're fighting under tonight, going into it. And it'll be an interesting match. I'm looking forward to this.
As expected, Rob Kaman's got an awful lot of support from the Paris fans. He is a legend in Europe.
Yeah, and people will have traveled from Holland for this one, too. All of us sitting around here ringside, just looking out onto an audience of people from all over Europe that traveled in for this fight. Starting off a little filling out there from the Jordan.
As we mentioned right up front, Marek just comes straight ahead.
He's just pressing right forward, isn't he? You hear the crowd chanting.
Rob E.
Right. He's a very popular fighter. He's fought here a lot in the Bercy Arena.
Much more in the way of leg action from Rob Kaman than Marek Piotrowski at this point early in the first round.
It's interesting, Kaman switching stances as well a little bit. Tending to fight with his right foot forward. Not a nice roundhouse kick out of the head. It's a good strategy for Kaman to use, is to put those powerful kicks into the legs and then flick one up into the head. He's switched back to that left stance now. He's put the right leg in there.
Rob Kaman comes into this fight with a record of 55-6. Marek Piotrowski 53-1. At the outset, we mentioned his only loss was back in 1991 to Rick Rufus.
Yeah, it'll be real interesting to see how well he does under these rules, because if he's able to be successful, maybe the freestyle will suit him. Otherwise, he'll be going back to full contact and looking for a rematch with Rick Rufus. So far, he seems to be having a little trouble with the leg kicks. Seems to have difficulty dealing with them. His blocking doesn't look as effective as you'd really want it to be fighting under this kind of competition.
Inside of 10 seconds left in round number 1 for the ISKA World Light Heavyweight title. Rob Kaman from Holland, Marek Piotrowski from the United States. No surprises in round number 1. Marek Piotrowski, not much movement from side to side, coming straight ahead at Rob Kaman. And it looks like Rob Kaman's got a problem with his right foot.
It looks like he's got a little bit of a cut there on the right foot. The kind of thing that can happen under these kind of rules in particular, because they don't wear shin guards. The full contact rules require the wearing of shin guards, whereas under the freestyle rules they're optional. It's quite a deep cut. It looks quite nasty there. Possible that he pinched it on an elbow, or it could have been just split open by one of Marek Piotrowski's toes. Possible a toenail could have cut the skin, and maybe some of the impact from the kicking could have opened it up. But they're just taping it up there, wrapping the tape around. I didn't see any gauze go on.
On our part, at this point, it could be subjective. It could have happened with a leg sweep. It could have happened with that roundhouse that he threw.
Sure, yeah, there was a lot of action with the leg kicking throughout the round, and I didn't actually see it open up at the time, but you can see it was quite a deep gash back there in the corner.
We're set for action in round number 2. Rob Kaman and Marek Piotrowski from the Bercy Arena in Paris, France. I'm Chuck Bennett along with Robert Heel.
Some serious exchanges going on there early in the round. A nice roundhouse kick to the leg that took Piotrowski a little bit off his feet there. A good right hand from Kaman. A sharp right hand over the top. Marek through the front kick, trying to follow up there, and the referee stepping in to break them as they got into a little bit of a clinch.
Marek has been doing more in the way of holding from behind the head and has not been, at this point, surprisingly warned about it.
Right, the referee will step in and, in fact, take penalty points away if he continues to do that. So far, he's letting the action flow. Good roundhouse kick to the head there from Marek. Looked like it snuck over the glove. And it's a good kick to the leg from Kaman there. He continues to just pile on that pressure with the leg kicks and the strong punching technique.
At times it seems though Rob Kaman is just waiting for Marek to make his move, and then he counters. Nice right hand by Marek Piotrowski.
There were a couple of strong moves there in combination for Piotrowski. He moved in very strongly with that combination. Both of these fighters are definitely looking for a fight. And they're out there both pressing forward towards it, and a good right hand.
Great right hand that stunned Marek Piotrowski.
Yeah, he definitely got that one. Taking an 8 count from the referee. Kaman retires to the neutral corner.
But he's stalking like a cat. He can't wait to get back.
He looks definitely stung.
Another right hand. Another one. Follows it up with a left.
The last one looked a little bit like a push more than a strike, but certainly at this point I think Marek could use a little bit more of a timeout.
He could use a rest, no doubt about it. It looks like his legs are still a little wobbly. As round 2 comes to a close. Marek Piotrowski's just about out on his feet at this point.
Yeah, he can use the timeout at this point in the match. Back in his corner there. And get a little bit of a rest and a little bit of inspiration, perhaps. Because at the end of that round, those 2 standing 8 counts would definitely hurt his score on the judges' scorecard.
That right hand was the first indication there was going to be trouble in the next 20 seconds.
That's right.
Marek tries to throw a left. Rob Kaman comes over the top of the right hand.
Very, very powerful punch. Definitely staggering.
We'll be back with round 3 action. It's the ISKA World Light Heavyweight Championship. We'll be back with more after this. We're set for round 3 action. Marek Piotrowski and Rob Kaman for the ISKA World Light Heavyweight title. As we get started, Robert, let's see what effects Marek Piotrowski has from the previous round in which he was rocked with 2 solid right hands.
Boy, he almost lifted off his feet right there with a leg kick. He's really getting hurt with those by the looks of it. Kaman's really digging them in.
Between rounds 2 and 3, Marek Piotrowski, as Rob put it, he put it nicely, is getting a little inspiration. Basically, he was told to keep his hands up. He was doing okay, but keep your hands up.
A couple of nice left hooks in there just now, but still Kaman is digging those leg kicks in, and that's going to have a major effect on Piotrowski's ability to stand up after a little while.
And I think, Robert, as you put it so aptly at the beginning of the fight, the difference between full contact and now the freestyle starting to show on the part of Marek Piotrowski.
I would say so. He really isn't dealing with these leg kicks as well as you'd want him to if he's going to be able to beat someone of Rob Kaman's caliber.
The first 2 rounds, Rob Kaman was coming over the top of the right hand. Those 2 blows in round number 2 were what gave Marek Piotrowski all the trouble. Now he's starting to come in from underneath, and that's causing problems.
Right, yeah, he switched his stance again. He's fought this round so far out of a right stance. And so we're seeing a lot more of the leg kick there with his left leg.
Marek's not on Queer Street, but he's moving toward that block.
That was a nice roundhouse kick to the head that he just, Marek just took from Kaman. Very well timed left roundhouse kick to Marek Piotrowski's head.
His reactions are a little slow at this point.
Oh yeah, and that left hook just put him down there. Very strong, sharp left hook. The referees ruled it a slip, but it looked like a knockdown to me from where we're sitting. Marek seems to have gone a little bit the worse for wear with those leg kicks. He just doesn't seem to have the kind of feeling in his strikes that he had at the beginning of this match at all. It seems like it's taken quite a lot of his energy.
Seemed to be moving a little slow, especially when he was trying to move. Marek tried to move from side to side just to avoid some of the left hooks. And there you see a great.
That was that roundhouse kick to the head that went in there. It was very clean. It went right over the top of his glove. And we're going to see it here from a little different angle. Yeah, bang, right with the bottom of the shin.
And as it came up, Marek's left hand came up and hit himself in the face.
And we'll see it again here from a different angle. See it's right over the top of the glove there, and Marek's arms go out, and his
reflexes are a little slow at this point.
Definitely. A few kicks to the head like that will slow your reflexes down, Chuck.
And make your legs a little rubbery, too, as they work on Marek Piotrowski's legs and try to get him a little stronger underneath him as we start round number 4.
Kaman's back in his left stance again now. He's got his left foot in front, and you probably will see that right hand go over the top again, I imagine. And he's going with the left hook there and the right uppercut. Good combination there from Kaman. Piotrowski seems to be just lifting his legs up and trying not to get hit too hard in the leg with those leg kicks.
Marek's not following through with those kicks. He's starting to lift his foot and then stops.
Yeah, he's starting to look very tentative right now, even more so this round than in the last one. And that's really going to hurt his style.
Nice right hand by Rob Kaman.
Yeah, Marek's recovering very slowly now. He's looking almost flat-footed at this point.
Kaman continues here in round number 4 to come from underneath now to Marek, confusing him somewhat.
I think right now Marek seems to have this confusion just throughout his whole stance. You can see he's backed up against the ropes. He's looking like he's not quite sure what to do to solve this problem of Rob Kaman.
And I think at this point he's in a defensive mode.
Kaman switched now to the right foot forward. Checking the kick for Marek. Moving in with that right hand. Kaman looking very confident at the moment as his fans are chanting. And that strong leg kick off Marek Piotrowski's punch.
And it was a counter to a right hand that Marek threw.
Yeah, the right hand didn't seem to bother Kaman at all, did it? He came right back with his own technique. You can see Marek having a lot of trouble just moving at the moment.
Yeah, he still hasn't gotten his legs back yet. It seems when Marek throws a leg kick, it just doesn't have anything behind it.
It takes a lot of skill to throw these leg kicks properly.
It'll be round 5, and we come back to the Bercy Arena in Paris, France in just a moment. First round by Rob Kaman, and really to this point, Robert, it hasn't affected what's going on in the fight, especially his kicking.
No, it doesn't seem to have interfered at all with his kicking style. He's been just digging those kicks into the legs and occasionally flipping one up into the head of Marek Piotrowski. Oh boy, and there we see that right hand just coming straight in. Kaman seems to like to throw that when he's got his left foot in front, that right hand lead over the top.
Some fighters would say, okay, he's telegraphing it, but at this point, Marek Piotrowski has not been that much aware of it, and I don't think it's really helped him at all to know that.
No, he seems very confident when he throws it. He knows it's going to go in. And Piotrowski's reflexes seem to be a little bit slow right now. That right hand seems to be leaving him unsighted.
Round 5 action for the ISKA World Light Heavyweight Championship. Rob Kaman from Holland in the white trunks. It's Marek Piotrowski of the United States fighting out of Chicago, Illinois in the black trunks with the gold trim. I'm Chuck Dennett along with Robert Heel, the executive director of the ISKA. Glad you're with us. We're at the Bercy Arena in Paris, France.
Here we see Kaman again has got that left foot in front and he's just dug that lead leg roundhouse kick into the body of Marek Piotrowski. Oh, and there's that right hand again. He likes to throw that when he's got that left foot forward. Seems to be looking for that right hand.
During much of round number 4, Rob Kaman was coming from underneath with the right hand. Now he's coming back over the top and confusing Marek Piotrowski even more.
And he's got some very nice strategic movement going here. Switching his stances and going from looking to the head, going back to the body and back to the head again. This is the kind of thing that is going to confuse a fighter, particularly right now, because Marek may be just a little bit concussed. He's taken a few shots, even this round. There was a couple of good shots into Marek Piotrowski's head this round. There's that left leg roundhouse kick again. Referee getting him to break them up there in the holding.
Marek seems to have gotten his senses a little bit between rounds 4 and 5. It looks a little bit better at this point.
Yeah, he tried that spinning back kick just there. That hasn't worked. He's tried that a couple of times in the match. Hasn't worked yet. So, still a little flat-footed, but still fighting hard. He's a strong competitor. He's not going to just lay down and give up. He's trying to get Kaman backed up against the ropes here.
Well, that's Marek Piotrowski's style. To come straight forward, pin his opponent against the ropes and dig in with the body shots.
Yeah, it's a style he's had trouble working because of Kaman's leg kicking ability, and that's something that he really could touch on just a little bit. It looks easy to throw these kicks to the legs, but actually it takes a lot of training And it doesn't require as much flexibility as perhaps a throw a kick to the head, but digging those kicks into the legs takes a lot of practice to get the kind of power that we've seen Rob Kaman generating.
Just about 3 seconds left in the round when Marek was finally warned for the first time in the fight by the referee for holding behind the head.
Right, yeah, there's a warning that maybe could have come a little bit earlier. Here you see they're taking a look at that cut to check that out and see if it's getting any better. And there you see Kaman blocking the kick and just
there's that big right hand.
Big right hand. And a good left hook to follow it. Putting a little bit more tape on this cut now.
They have put a little bit of gauze in between the layers of tape, though.
Well, maybe that'll help to soak some of the blood up a little bit. It just doesn't seem to have been bothering him, as you mentioned before, Chuck. It doesn't seem to have caused him any trouble in his kicking. So
it's had absolutely no effect at all.
Obviously a fairly superficial injury, but still, I'm sure it'll be a little bit uncomfortable tomorrow.
There's the bell for round number 6. This has been a fight. I don't think it's to the surprise of anyone that Rob Kaman has got to be ahead on just about everybody's card in this one.
Oh yeah, the 2 standing 8 counts that Piotrowski took early on in the match would have put him well behind. And I think that Kaman has clearly won every other round as well. Piotrowski's still in there, and he's a hard hitter. You can never put him out of a fight until the fight's over.
We'll say this in rounds 4 and 5. Got to give Marek an A for effort and trying to come back from what was pretty much earlier on in this fight. A couple of devastating right hands that he was within seconds of being out.
Yeah, he was definitely out on his feet, and the referee gave him a standing 8 count. And obviously that's a major penalty deduction on the judges' scorecards, but he's definitely fought back. He's still in there and doing his best. A good uppercut there. He's still mixing it up right in the middle of the ring there with Rob Kaman.
Both fighters seem to be doing more of the holding when they hit now.
Yeah, it may be that they're trying to fight a little bit inside, and the tendency is that when it's not working to just hold on.
Rob Kaman just tried one of the first straight kicks that I've seen him throw.
Yeah, he's thrown a couple of front kicks just straight ahead in the fight, but his main technique has been that roundhouse kick to the thigh. Just so there's another one with that left leg, just digging it in, 3rd time. Tries to come back with a shot to the head, but he's obviously feeling the effect of those
Marek's in a little bit of trouble, and there's some blood atop his right eye at this point.
And you can see he's hobbling. His right leg is hurt from those roundhouse kicks digging in there. Kaman's still very light on his feet. And he's looking to punish Piotrowski over and over with that left leg roundhouse kick this round. He's really working on Piotrowski's right leg there.
As round 6 comes to a close, Marek Piotrowski continues his game effort to come back.
And you see a little bit of blood there over Kaman's eye.
And I think that's where Marek's blood could be, because the blood that we saw coming over the top of Marek's right eye. And I think that's what it was, because it's no longer there.
How are you feeling? Are you sure? You don't want to stop? Okay, look, he's tired, Marek. You got to go after him. He's tired. Here, drink it.
Doing all they can do in between rounds 6 and 7 for Marek Piotrowski, especially applying that ice to the right thigh.
Yeah, that thigh was hurting in that round.
Okay.
We'll have round 7 action coming up in the Bear Sea Arena in just a moment. Stay with us. Here seems to be something of a habit for round number 6, especially when it comes to Marek Piotrowski, that overhand right from Rob Kaman. We're set to start round 7 from the Bear Sea Arena. Chuck Bennett along with Robert Heel, and up to this point it's been all Rob Kaman.
Yeah, I would say it definitely has been. Marek's looking a little bit the worse for wear at the moment coming out into this round. Oh boy, that was a great roundhouse kick to the head. It really surprised Marek Piotrowski there.
Rob's holding behind the head, and he's warned by the referee. The second warning for Rob in this fight.
It should be a penalty point after 2 warnings. 2 is the maximum number of warnings the referee will usually give for that holding.
Marek's doing all he can do to avoid any kicks at this point, and I think that's altering his style.
Yeah, he seems to be pretty much stuck back on his heels at the moment. He's very flat-footed. He's having trouble getting off with his techniques. Pressing forward there, but good leg kick from Marek. He's obviously still got some life in him. but not the usual Marek Piotrowski that we're used to seeing.
The brief moments that Rob Kaman's had to move into a defensive mode in this fight, even then, he's still throwing the kicks.
Oh, wow, boy.
Big right
hand just staggered him off his feet there. Referee stepping in there very quickly.
I think that's going to be it.
Yep, that's it. He's waved his hands in the air. That's the end of the fight. Boy, that right hand really just nailed him. Hasn't that been the story of the last few rounds? The right hand coming over the top and just whacking.
Marek had a right hand of his own that he threw at almost the same exact time that Kaman threw his. Obviously, Rob Kaman's was a little bit more powerful.
Well, there's a difference in the confidence with which the technique's being thrown at this stage. I think that Kaman just felt that he could take whatever Marek had to throw, and he was just going to throw his right hand anyway. That's exactly what he did.
Excellent move on the part of the referee to stop the fight at that point, because another shot from Rob Kaman probably could have done some serious damage.
Well, yeah, he jumped in there very quickly because there was another right hand on the way as the referee jumped in between them. And here you see Kaman's hand held up in salute as the winner of this belt.
Robert, we're going to take a look at that right hand again, and you'll see Marek Piotrowski try to avoid this kick from the left side, and at that point, he throws the overhand right, but Kaman's right is in there at the same time.
That's it, and Kaman is just about to come back with another one too. Here it is again, whack right over the top. Kaman had no fear in throwing that. He obviously hadn't been intimidated by Piotrowski's punches. And there he was just going to throw another one when the referee jumped right in between them there and stopped some potential damage to Piotrowski that could have come from laying that second right hand in on the top of the first one.
Marek tried to measure him with the left hand. He tried to come across with the overhand right, and at the same time Kaman came across with his right. His right got there first, and thus the end of the fight.
Boy, yes, I always say so. The referee definitely right to jump right into the frontal punch.
Earlier in the fight, Marek Piotrowski took 2 standing 8 counts, and from that point on, Kaman pretty much knew that this was his ball game.
Yeah, he had used a strong right hand throughout the match and obviously totally dominant from the very beginning of this fight.
It got to a point midway through the fight, say the 3rd, 4th round, where Marek got into a situation where he was just trying to avoid the kicks, I think.